I love that the rooster is just here hanging out. Where would we be without a rooster? Let's check out this armor maker thing. Oh, we get to choose a reward. Okay. We can get a helmet. Nobody has a helmet yet. A rusty shield. I don't actually know what the difference is between block and armor. Or armored elven boots. Sort of like the idea of shoes. Could I put workers on this? Yeah, but it wouldn't really do anything. Could increase the level of the item we're making. Could buy some new gear. Keep in mind, I'm only able to play up to day 5, because this is the early access prologue. It isn't the full version of the game yet. Oh my, I just read what this does. I was reading and it's like, okay, so a single target, 64 to 134 damage spell. That's quite a lot of damage, so you can really bring something down with this, you know? One target, fair enough, 3 uses, okay. Use it as many times as you want per turn, cool. Range 1 to 10. Nice, so we just use this to nuke one enemy. And then I got up to propagation times 10. Oh. Oh, you kill all of the enemies. Oh, I understand now. I get it now. Gotcha. Give me 1 sec. Need to like stretch and reset my brain a little bit before we do the last day here. I've been streaming for a little over 7 hours and I'm playing a new game that I'm not used to. So, yeah, it's quite a lot for poor little old me. I hope everybody's doing well today. I hope you're having a great July. It's July, right? I think it's July. Is this game cool? It seems pretty sweet, yeah. It's late July. Cool. I wanna buy this. It seems fine. Let's build another building, just so we get to see more of what the buildings do. And you'd like dismiss one of your, I don't know. Let's build a ooh, if we build a magic shop, we get to sing, I wanna take you to the magic shop. I feel like that'll be fun. Let's kill this. Why July? This has just been a very long year, right? What does Chanda do? She uses her bow poorly. Sick. 14 mana at the moment. Just take more crit chance. And we got experience game and critical against full health enemies. Let's also take... She uses quite a lot of stun chance stuff. I'll take the stun chance. Telefer. Ooh, plus 10% magic damage? That seems good. And we can take... Let's try out steady aim. Because I haven't yet, mostly. Is anybody... I feel like you could maybe use... Oh. Wait, where do your shoes go? How do you wear shoes if you don't have any feet? I'm actually so... You put them on your finger? Oh, it's a trinket. Okay. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Anyway, you can keep your sword. It seems fine. Let's give you a Master's Scepter. Why not? Nils over here. I think you could replace your rusty hammer with a rusty dagger, maybe. I don't even know if that's good. It's probably not even good. Let's give someone with good magic damage plus 19%. That sounds good. Let's give this to you. Let's give you that as well. We'll run it like that. I'm going to build another gold mine because I love gold and because none of you can stop me. I got told that you could repair these during the building phase. Repair. Vestige wall can't be repaired. Oh. Okay, so your starting stone walls are like you lose it and it's gone. I see. Let's see, 85% next to propagation. I think that's the damage fall off. So you lose 15% of your damage on it with each jump. Although it seems to still apply the same damage over time effect, no matter how many times it jumps. As far as I can tell. I'm gonna take this, because it seems like it's probably good. And I believe this is the last day anyway. And we'll give that to you. Sweet. Any other gear? Anything fancy? I'll give some crit chance to someone, I don't know. Whoever doesn't have a trinket yet. Alright. Waves are coming from the north and the east. Those are the directions that I've never had to defend against before. Oh, I have a catapult here from right at the beginning. Oh yeah, the first wave came this way actually. Vaguely remember that. Let's throw a catapult there and a catapult here. Maybe a couple of walls. The walls don't seem very necessary when the enemies never actually reach your defenses, huh? Now that I think about it. Nils is just gonna stand here and just kill them all. Equip your new gear. No, we're good. Someone's knocking on my door, just a sec. I have a guacamole burger with sweet potato fries for dinner at the end of the stream. That is very, very exciting. Oof, that is very exciting. Alright, zombos are here. Ah, Boomer! They made a video game about us. How do I deal damage to them? Oh, you get to do it all night long. I have good news. Don't have line of sight. Also, I may have put my mage with no armor right in front of Fog of War a little bit there. Only a little bit though.
Thanks for all the great content, you'll stay safe.
Ouvrir Season. Thanks for the $20 donation. You're very, very welcome for that content. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So it feels like the zombies are getting higher HP, but it doesn't feel like there are that many more of them, which I guess makes sense. It feels very manageable though, compared to the start. It feels like my units have gotten stronger, and especially now I'm able to just use all of my mana. In this battle, and we should be pretty good. Just probably want to not be standing in front of the Fog of War that the zombies come from, as mentioned previously. Something action economy. Yeah, what the okay. Accursed. -2 action points? Oh no. Oh no, that's not okay. Alright, I take it back. Everything's terrible. It's not even that bad. Is it gonna die to this? -2 panic. -2 move points, -40% damage. It's panicking because it's being hit a bunch? Can I click on this and see more? I wonder why it's panicking. Hold on, let's look at the character sheet and see if we can have panic here. Nope. Okay. Not sure what that means exactly. Beep, beep. Oh, there are definitely enemies here. Target's 4. Oh, is it scroll time? It might be scroll time. Is this even good? I feel like it's not actually more damage than this is. This is the 100 bits gruesome bike. This game is sweet. I'm enjoying it. It's been very easy to play. Like, if you want to do something, it feels easy to make it happen in this game. I don't know what the right way to explain why that's important is, if it doesn't sound like something that would be important. It is important. I don't know why I just did that. No part of that seemed sensible in retrospect. You can, like, run away maybe a little bit. Oh, we could go to the catapult. Gameplay being intuitive. Yeah, there you go. That's like the sensible person who still has a working brain way of phrasing the thing I was trying to say. Sorry, I've been streaming for a long time. Almost got through, didn't you? Almost. I'm working on the assumption that this is the last day, so it's okay to use all of my mana. I think that's true. That's dead to poison. Do you think the boomers explode if they get close to you? Do you think that's why they're called boomers? Or do you think... See, I think it's more likely that they're just quite old. It's probably one of the two, though. Why not both? Why not both? Oh, okay. There's more of them. can use this twice a turn. Feels bad to use it twice per turn though, because I don't get to do any damage. Action economy. How does it work? Just gonna have to let this hit my character, I think. He has like 1 billion health, he'll be fine. Blade Rush. Oh. Oh. Oh? I understand what that does now. I have 11 mana. Got some stuns there. Got 2 stuns there. That's very good. Can't shoot anything. Uh-oh. Okay, over here. Where do I even put my AoE this turn? Feels like everything's spread out. Is gonna die? None of them are gonna die. Nils playing whack-a-mole over here. Yeah. Yeah, Nils is doing well. We've got a catapult. This should hold okay, I think. I think it should be alright. Two more shots somehow. Oh, is it going to explode when I kill it? Interesting. This is the last turn that new enemies spawn, it looks like. There's a barricade there, so I can't actually use the catapult. This is a great example of purposeful base design. That's what you're seeing on display with that. Did these like regenerate every turn? Why do they still have $1 billion? And by that I mean full health. Oh no. Catapults fire over walls. The problem is there's a barricade there, so I can't actually stand next to it. I'd have to vault over it, then go there, then shoot it, which I guess I could do. We'll like wait until next turn, I think. These are not like next to each other. I want them to be next to each other. You certainly have a lot of health, don't you? Like we're actually losing ground over there. Okay, what happens when we shoot this twice and it explodes? Oh yeah, so we want to kill that next to other enemies. Today I've learned. It makes sense. I think the thing that gave it away was the name, and also the way it exploded when I killed it. Fucking Sherlock Holmes over here. The throbbing bomb-like pulses. Yeah, I mean, I would be lying if I said those, Uh-oh. Okay. So you don't want those to reach the walls. Also, if they do reach the walls, you don't want your characters to be standing next to those walls. I learned a lot. I learned a lot that turn. Fair enough. Ooh, that's going to kill a boomer. What? It doesn't friendly fire? Is that what just happened? It looked like it didn't friendly fire. That's no good. It is Night 5. These are the only enemies that I have to deal with for the rest of the game, yeah? This is it. The poison just isn't doing as much as it used to. I'm gonna try running away with you, maybe, as you don't have any health. Health. Health is not fully replenished every day. Sure, okay. Just trying to check if I had any debuffs for being on low health. Looks like maybe I don't. These are all the remaining enemies. Let's shoot at them. Shoot this here. There's a runner in the base. Oh shit, I don't have... I thought I had one more action point. I don't know, because I used a 3 into 3. Wait, this can be used 3 times? Why? Why can it be used 3 times? Is that because I didn't use my workers or something? I don't know. I'll take it though. I'm gonna run backwards again. If the boomers just blow themselves up on the walls, it's sort of fine, right? Feels like that's ideal. I think that any workers that you didn't use during the previous day are available to reload catapults, basically. I have a bad feeling about this, Nils. You have 1 action? Nils, I have a very bad feeling about this. New catapults come in fully loaded, so they start with 3 shots, is what you're saying. I understand now. That did not kill. And we're out of shots there, and you're out of actions. Let's run back into the base. Alright. Is that dead? In a couple of turns it's dead. That's fine, I'll let it be dead in a couple of turns then. Don't need to kill it now, really. Has 236 health. There is perhaps some commentary to be had on the wisdom of standing next to this and hitting it with a sword. Oh, I need to go 1 further away? I can AoE it. Sick. Done! 35 left. Interestingly, those don't seem to deal any damage. They're sapping all of my actions, which sucks, but they're not dealing any damage. So this will die. I can kill these 2 with the propagate, probably. Let's keep these all stuck here. It's time to cast a spell. Yeah, that one. Twice. Wait, 3 times? Is that allowed? Apparently it is. Just you left. Two good stuns. We've definitely taken more panic on day 5 than any other day. They've breached the gates. Completely out of mana here. Fucking nils. Oh, fucking nils. That really didn't do anything, did it? Okay, we deal with these. That has not a lot of poison on it, really. Power shot. Oh. Attack. This is a different bow. It's shorter range. Thought it was the same. XCOM Terror Mission, the game. Maybe a little bit. Certainly don't have a lot of mana left, but that's it. That's all of the enemies. I think we did it. 0 deaths. Didn't lose any buildings, although the wall is definitely not there anymore. I feel like there used to be a wall, right? Pretty sure that's true. Have been streaming for 8 hours. Several hours. You think we have enough catapults? Get out. We've been to hell and back. Another knight survived. Level 5 on Nils. 34 kills. Definitely a lot more panic that time. You wonder if there will be a lull in threat after this mission in the full game that seemed rough. I'm sure the balancing will be very different in the full game. Keep in mind that there's meta progression as well. So like everything's going to have to be a little bit different. Well played, Survivor. Congratulations on reaching the end of this short demo of The Last Spell. We're still working hard on the game's mechanics to make it perfect, so feel free to join us on our Discord servers so we can make this game better together. If you have bugs to report, balancing feedback, or you just want to say hi. There's still a lot more new content to expect in the final game, more enemies, weapons, and gameplay mechanics that will offer you countless hours of hardcore enjoyment, so stay tuned and add the game to your wish list. It really helps us indies a lot. That is a great idea. Even if you aren't interested in checking out the demo, if this game looked like something you were at all interested in purchasing on release, on full release, wishlisting games, or even if you like don't want to buy it now but might buy it later, wishlisting games helps indie devs out a lot, because if they can show that a lot of people have wishlisted their game, they're much more able to generate buzz around it as they release it. So if you see a game that looks cool to you, wishlisting it on Steam is useful to the people making the game, even if it's not actually something that you cared about doing. Sort of like, even if you don't use Twitter, following Twitter accounts of indie devs helps them out. Stuff like that, and just something easy that you can do. This is the end for now. There are many more nights of fighting to come. Definitely, sometimes games like this will have sort of like, well, like in Slay the Spire, there's like an Act 1 boss, Act 2 boss, Act 3 boss, you know? So it's definitely pretty common in games like this to have a phase that's quite difficult and then you get like a lull for the next 2 days or something to rebuild, and then you build up to the final boss or whatever. On the other hand, there are also games like this that don't do that, and it's just every single day gets harder. So I don't know exactly how the balancing will look at the end. This is looking sweet. Definitely enjoyed playing it. Trying to think of what my feedback would be after playing through the demo. I think something that, yeah, it's this is the prologue for the game. I think the mana mechanic was very conceptually interesting, but I feel like it wasn't quite working yet in my playthrough. Like, I feel like the point of the mana mechanic was to let you have abilities which were strong if needed, but which you tried not to have to use. And I feel like that's a really cool mechanic to have, because if things get out of control on one of the days, you can start using all of your spells, you know? Honestly, maybe all it needed was the root spell to, I don't know if I'm gonna have somebody with a staff. Looks like no. The spell that rooted enemies maybe just needed to have mana cost associated with it. Maybe that's all we needed. Because I would just use that every single turn. It seemed very strong. Coupled with the poison attack that I was using. And I ended up with 2 of them, so I was just locking everything down on both sides. Letting it die to poison. I don't know. You can also build stuff to have more mana if you want. Yeah. I like the perk system. It definitely feels like some of the perks are waiting for the higher tier perks before they are relevant. Like the extra experience gain is obviously a lot better if the game goes twice as long. All the critical stuff is like, I can see how you could make someone who was all about really sick crits, but it doesn't feel like there are quite enough perks yet for it to work. So, but this is really promising, I think. And I like the way they've done it, where it's not a skill tree, it's like, how many are there? There are 9 tier 1 perks, and you just have to pick one of them in order to unlock tier 2. Because I feel like that's the thing that allows for the most diverse builds if the balance works. The danger of setting it up like that is if one thing's stronger than the other things, then someone can just do the same thing every single time, because the skill tree isn't requiring them to ever pick anything else. But if the balance gets locked in right, you'll be in situations where you'll unlock certain things on tier 1 and then you'll get a really sick weapon that you want to use with that person, and so you'll like switch into a different sort of perk on tier 2 or something, and it'll just be fun. Hopefully. Some people don't like that also. Some people like to build a character that is min-maxed to do one particular thing, whereas other people like to build a character where you like start off with early game perks and then you switch into mid game scaling perks. Like if you compare it to Slay the Spire, right? Some people want to build a deck that's like Noxious Fumes and Footwork and Backflips, and they never want to have to put a Dagger Spray in the deck. But once you start playing the game at higher and higher difficulty, it becomes apparent that you're going to have to put a Dagger Spray in your deck, because otherwise you'll just die. And people don't necessarily all like that. There are definitely people who would prefer to just be able to build their Noxious Fumes block deck right from the get-go. So, when you are developing a game like this, you get to choose whether you're going to force people into picking like suboptimal early game perks to survive early game or not, and stuff like that. Scaling building versus gear over half the days is wonky. Yeah, there are definitely a few levers. There are definitely more levers to pull on in this game than in a lot of games like it that I've seen in terms of balancing. The ways that things interact with each other, there are a lot of paths between them. I don't know if I'm enunciating this very well, if I'm making myself clear. You can turn gold into basically everything else in the game. Whereas in Slay the Spire, it's limited what you can turn gold into. It depends on like which events you get, and you'll probably get like 2 or 3 stores and exactly what is in those stores. But in this game, it feels like gold is a resource that can quite easily be turned into a huge number of different things in the production phase every turn. And so because of that, if one thing's stronger than the others, you run the risk of having the game actually become less varied. Because the players are just going to always build the thing that's good. Whereas in Slay the Spire, I can't just always buy Reaper because I only ever get Reaper if it's in a store and I have enough gold to purchase it. Or I can get it in other ways that don't require gold. That's the thing. Like, Slay the Spire has limited pathways in terms of turning resources into other resources, and this game seems like it has very open pathways. Not necessarily a bad thing or a good thing, just like a different thing to keep an eye on when you're balancing. If there is a sufficiently large amount of bankable mana, payoffs to spending lots of mana in a round and obvious encounters where banking and spending extra mana is important, the mechanic can be interesting. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. So like we just sort of did that actually. We sort of were able to bank up our mana until the final wave, and then we wanted to use all of our mana on that final wave. Maybe I could have gotten through the final wave without using all the mana. I just sort of went ahead and used everything because it was the final wave. But certainly in practice, it worked out pretty well, I would say. Buildings that pay off in 3 days are hard to play with if the game ends in 5. Yay. Although I didn't feel like our day 1 gold mine was that bad. I don't know. It was probably pretty bad. We did bank up our catapult shots too, that's true. I wasn't sure that the catapult was that good when I was firing it on the final day. Like, it felt like my heroes had gotten to a point where the things they could do on their own were comparable to the catapult. And so it sort of felt like I'd spent a bunch of money on this catapult that wasn't actually doing all that much. I guess I spent materials, not money. I guess you could have like the level 1 hero that you get when you expand your roster from 3 to 4. Be the person who ran around shooting the catapults if you wanted. Catapult could do with a 1-tile increase in AoE. Yeah, I'm not sure. The flip side is I did feel like the catapult was very strong earlier on. I guess another thing is, like, the catapult was really good against this choke point, but it wasn't as good here where the enemies could spread out. And so maybe what I should have been doing is like putting catapults here, but not putting catapults over here, using my money on something else over here. So maybe to make that doable, there needs to be a little bit more variety in static defenses, such that there's a type of static defense which is very good against open areas. Maybe the watchtower is that. Maybe if I'd built the watchtower, I would have had that effect. I sort of want to play more. I'm sitting here and I'm like very close to deploying my units and starting fighting zombies. Fun game. Building out the base was interesting. I enjoyed it. There's definitely a lot of like thinking and optimizing to go into working out how you actually want to do that. I really liked the like armor maker and weapon maker, and I really liked those buildings. They were just fun. The gold mine was a bit boring. It probably needed a clinking coins sound. Honestly, honest feedback. It probably would have been more fun if when you clicked on the coins they went if that happened, I might have liked it more. You can also sell the inn on the 5th day for 50 more gold. Oh yeah, that's a good plan. You don't need to keep these buildings. If you use workers, can you sell the houses after you've used them too? That's something that happens in They Are Billions. At the very end of the game, like, you end up selling a ton of stuff that you used to be using but you don't need anymore. We should clip this just in case there are clinking coins in the final build. I wouldn't be surprised if... Like, they're still working on the game, so they're going to work more and more and more on making all of the interfaces feel really good to use. They've obviously already put a lot of work into it. This is one of the better user interfaces that a game like this has had, in my experience of playing games like this. It feels pretty easy to see everything that's going on. I think my only criticism of the user interface was the health bars were a little hard to... Like, they're too small. So when you look at a zombie with 80 hit points and a zombie with 400 hit points next to each other, it was hard for me to tell that one of them only had 80 hit points and one of them had 400 hit points. I could just tell that both of them were at 100% HP. Although I guess if you play enough of the game, you'll get to a point where you just recognize how many hit points each type of zombie has. So maybe that's something that stops mattering in another, like, hour or two. Create back sprites for the other mages so that they can face the well thing. Perhaps. Perhaps. The houses are small, or are the people tall? Yeah. I don't think the houses are intended to be properly to scale. I think that's completely fine. I think that's pretty normal in, like, RTS type games. And this is graphically an RTS type game, even if it ends up being turn-based. Alright, well, thanks for hanging out, everybody. I appreciate you sticking around for the sponsored content. It makes publishers and advertisers happy when they see that my audience is interested in games that I want to show off to them. And I'm glad that you are. It's really fun. It's like one of the coolest ways to make money through advertising as a streamer, to play a game that you are interested in playing anyway and that your audience is interested in watching. It's just like sort of, yeah, it's just a very pleasant thing. So I appreciate you sticking around. I'm gonna be playing the Game of Thrones digital board game sometime later this week as well. Should be pretty cool. For now, though, I'm gonna find someone to host and go have my dinner. I've been streaming for 8 hours. Hope you enjoyed the Slay the Spire earlier as well. Game is sweet. It was really fun to play some Slay the Spire.